For this relief, much thanks. Though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honoured in the breach than in the observance. Well, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. To be or not to be, that is the question. There are more things in heavens and earth that are dreamt of in your philosophy, a divinity that shapes our ends, rough you them how you will. Though it be madness, yet there be method in it. I must be cruel only to be kind. Hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, a countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Rotten.
The lady doth protest too much. Cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
A flourish of trumpets. Claudius and Gertrude enter.
Our sometime sister, now our queen.
Hamlet enters.
We have taken on to wife.
That it should come to this!
Claudius and Gertrude exit. There is a sound of wind. Horatio enters.
I saw him yesternight, the king, your father.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us!
He exits, running through the rest of his speech.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Ghost enters above.
I am thy father's spirit, the serpent that did sting thy father's life.
Hamlet enters above.
Now where's his crown?
Oh, my prophetic soul! I shall think meet to put an antic disposition on.
They exit. Short flourish of trumpets. Polonius enters below, running.
Look sadly where the poor wretch comes.
Polonius exits. Hamlet enters.
I have heard the guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck.
Claudius, Gertrude, Ophelia, Marcellus, and Horatio enter. Joking. They sit to watch an imaginary play.
If he but blench, I know my cause.
Claudius rises.
The king rises!
Get on the play!
Exit all except Gertrude and Hamlet.
I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000.
Polonius enters and goes behind a russ.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
How? How?
He stabs Polonius.
Dead for a double, dead.
Polonius falls dead off stage. Gertrude and Hamlet exit. Short flourish of trumpets. Claudius enters, followed by Hamlet.
Hamlet, this deed must send thee hence.
Hamlet exits.
Do it, England!
Claudius exits. Ophelia enters and falls on the ground. Gravestone rises to hide Ophelia. A bell tolls twice.
Dong, dong.
Gravedigger and Hamlet enter.
A pirate gave us chase. I alone became their prisoner. Oh, Yorick. But soft! 'Tis I, Hamlet the Dane.
Gravedigger exits. Laertes enters.
The devil take thy soul!
They grapple, then break. Osric enters between them with swords. They draw. Claudius and Gertrude enter with goblets. Hamlet has a line.
Come on, sir!
Laertes and Hamlet fight. Pause.
Oh, here, it's a very palpable hit.
Give him the cup, Gertrude. Do not drink.
I am poisoned.
She dies.
Hamlet, thou art slain.
He dies. He kills Claudius.
Ah! The rest is silence.
He dies.
Bang, bang.
2 shots are heard off stage. Curtain.
And enjoy your low-calorie popcorn and assorted confections while we tell you the strange and bewildering tale of a hero who has yet to enter his own story. Crunchy, creamy, cookie, candy, cupcake. Okay, everybody, let's take it from the top. The stage is set. The night moist with apprehension. Alone in her chamber, the princess princess prepares to take her own life. It is far better to nourish wounds than to live without love. She reaches for the poisoned chalice. Meanwhile, the wicked Malvolio plots his ascension to the throne. While her aging father lies gravely ill. Yes, I'm gravely ill.
Ah, who goes there? 'Tis I, the much-anticipated hero, returning to rescue his emotionally unstable maiden. Unhand her, you jailers of virtue, or taste the bitter sting of my vengeance. The sting of my...
Dr. Marks. Dr. Marks, I'm not getting anything from you.
People, we've talked about this. Acting is reacting. Victor, you wouldn't.
There, I said it.
Mr. Tibbs?
You were good. Perhaps a little too good. What's that, Victor? My character is undefined? That's absurd. I know who I am. I'm the guy, the protagonist, the hero. Every story needs a hero. I mean, who else is better qualified to bask in the adulation of his numerous companions? The stage is waiting. The audience thirsts for adventure. Who am I? I could be anyone.
Sarah. Sarah. Wait, we're meeting someone backstage. Shall I just do the health and safety? No. Okay, this is our adaptation of Hamlet. I see Helen is missed. In case of a fire, follow any member of staff to the fire exits. Turn your phones off, and hopefully when the actor arrives we can get to it straight away. Just put some more information out there for you. I'm playing Horatio. This is buying some time. Who goes there? Speak! Speak now! Stay! Speak! Speak! I charge thee, speak!
Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body. Like Niobe. All tears, why she, even she. A beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle. My father's brother. And no more like my father than I to Hercules within a month. Ere the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her dulled eyes, she married. Most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets, it is not, nor can it come to good. Break my heart, I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
Horatio.
My lord.
What's wrong? You look as though you've seen a ghost.
My lord.
Horatio.
My lord, I saw him yesterday night.
Saw who?
My lord, the king.
Horatio.
Your father.
My father is dead.
My lord.
Where?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched,
I'll watch again tonight. Perchance we'll walk again.
I warrant you, it will.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Oh, thou comest in such questionable shape. I'll speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet. King, Father, Royal Dane, answer me! That's the convenient thing about tragedy. You can start it off with the flick of a finger.
A glance at a girl going past in the street with uplifted arms. A sudden hunger for fame when you wake up one morning. Asking yourself one too many questions some evening. That's all it takes.
And afterwards, no need to do anything. It does itself.
Like clockwork, set going since the beginning of time.
Death.
Treachery.
Despair.
All there ready and waiting.
And noise and storms and every kind of silence.
The silence at the end when the executioner lifts his arm. The silence at the beginning when two young lovers are naked alone for the first time. Both don't dare to move.
The silence when the shouts of the crowd rise up around the victor. Like a film with the soundtrack stuck. All those open mouths, nothing coming out. All that clamour, no more than an image.
And the victor already vanquished, there in the midst of silence.
Nice and neat tragedy. Restful too. In a drama with its desperate villains, innocent victims and glimmers of hope, death becomes something terrible. A kind of accident.
But tragedy, so peaceful. For one thing, everybody's on a par. All innocent. It doesn't matter if one does a killing or is killed. It's just a matter of casting.
But above all, tragedy is restful. Because you know there's no hope left. You know you're caught, like a rat in a trap, with all of heaven against you.
And the only thing left to do is shout. Not moan or complain, but shout out at the top of your lungs whatever it was you had to say.
What you've never said before. And to no purpose, just so as to tell it to yourself, to learn it yourself.
In drama you struggle, because you hope you're going to survive.
It's utilitarian.
Sordid. But tragedy is gratuitous.
Pointless.
Irredeemable.
Fit for a king. I was Hamlet. I stood at the shore and talked with the surf. Blah, blah, blah. The ruins of Europe in the back of me. The bells tolled the state funeral. Murderer and widow a couple. The councillors goose-stepping behind the high-ranking carcass's coffin, bawling with badly paid grief.
Who is the corpse in the hearse, about whom there is such a hue and cry?
'Tis the corpse of such a great giver of alms. The lane formed by the populace, creation of his stagecraft. I stopped the funeral procession. I pried open the coffin with my sword. The blade broke, but with the blunt reminder, I dispensed my dead procreator.
Flesh likes to keep the company of flesh.
Amongst the bums around me. The mourning turned into rejoicing. The rejoicing turned into lip-smacking. I lay down on the ground and listened to the world doing its turn to step with the purification. Let me help you, Uncle. Mother, open your legs. I am good Hamlet. Give me a cause for grief. All the globe for a real sorrow. The whole world for a real stage. I, the prince-killing king. What have I done? I'm lugging my overweight brain about like a hunchback. Something is rotten in the age of hope.
Let's delve in earth and blow her at the moon.
Here comes the ghost who made me. The axe still in his skull. I'll keep your hat on. I know you've got one hole too many. I wish my mother had one hole less when you were still in flesh. I would have been spared myself. Women should be sewn up. A world without mothers. We could butcher each other in peace and quiet with some confidence. But if our life got too long for us, or our throat too tight for our screams, what do you want from me? Horatio. Confident of my thoughts, and so full of blood as the morning is curtained by the empty sky. You'll be too late, my friend, for your paycheck. There's no part for you in this, my tragedy. Horatio, do you know me? Are you my friend, Horatio? Well, if you know me, how can you possibly be my friend? Would you rather play Polonius? Who wants to sleep with his daughter, the delightful Ophelia? Here she enters right on cue. Look how she shakes her ass. A tragic character. Exit Claudius. Denmark is a prison. A wall is growing between the two of us, and look what is growing from that wall! My mother, the bride! Her breast a rosebud, her womb the snake pit. Have you forgotten your lines, mother? Here, I'll prompt you.
Wash the murder of your face, my son, and offer new Denmark your glad eye.
I'll change you back into a virgin, mother, and your king can have a blood wedding. A mother's womb is not a one-way street. And then I shall tie your hands behind your back with your bridal veil, because I am sick of your embrace. Then I will tear the wedding photo and smear it with the dust that my father turned into. And with it, your face, your belly, and your breasts. Do you recognize the fruits of your womb? Go to your wedding, you whore. In the broad Danish sunlight that shines on the living and the dead. I want to cram the corpse down the latrine so the palace can choke on royal shit. Then let me eat your heart, Ophelia, which weeps my tears.
Dear Hamlet, most honoured lord of mine, thy gracious letter doth too much protest. My threadbare schoolgirl skills I dare to show, under command I strongly haste to add. Since my good father, perfect with
My
paternal
dear
pride,
Ophelia,
believes his children's offering
so many thanks for
precious
entertaining
jewels,
us so charmingly.
and not the simple and cut stones they are.
It was indeed the
as
rarest
those
joy
who
to me to
everywhere
speak to
appear.
thee and hear thy graceful skills
Be
manipulate the
adored with
mysteries
grace
of
towards
woman.
me for my flaws.
And bringing forth
Makes me
such
doubly
sweet idyllic
insensitive.
sounds, I swear there ain't birds did cease their
I
chirp.
do not doubt I will be
And on
happy
their
here,
branches listen
and though I
to
much
grateful.
admired the late King Hamlet, who
I pray you will be
showers
happy
us
here in
with such
Denmark
unsought
within the
warmth and
environs of
grace.
Elsinore. For though it doth
Do not
appear
doubt
at first
that I will
remote,
restore
there
the
is much
peaceful
here I know will
harmony of
interest you.
Elsinore.
I will anticipate another
thank
visit where,
thee
though
for
I
thy
sorely lack your
generous
skills like
invitation, and
I may
would
perchance
be
beguile
humbled
you
to
with
hear thee play thy pipe,
or else
and then
engage
to
your
witness
senses in
those
the wild
great
to
birds
demonstrate
of
our
prey,
native
with our
falconry.
skills thou tamed so cleverly.
So, my dear new
Would be
friend,
an honour more than I deserve.
until we meet again,
Affectionately,
welcome to Elsinore with all of my heart. Hamlet.
Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning time, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine.
St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day,
A younger rose and donned his clothes and up a chamber door. Let in the maid that's out today, never think hearted more.
St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, St.
What she before you tumbled me, you promised me to wear. That would I have done by understand if thou hadst not come to my bed.
St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day.
By gifts away, St. Charity, away of life and shame. Young men will do for name and take by God they are to blame.
St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day.
Only thank you well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours which I have longed to redeliver. I pray now you receive them.
No, not I never gave you aught.
My lord, I know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as to make the things more rich. Their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor and givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
Well, then if you be honest and fair, then honestly you should admit no discourse of your beauty.
Could beauty have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the power of honesty can transform beauty into its likeness. This was some type of paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
Well, you shouldn't have believed me. I loved you not!
I was the more deceived!
Get thee to a nunnery! Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest. Who could accuse me of such things? It were better my mother had not borne me. I am ambitious, revengeful, with more offences at my beck than I have imagination to give them shape or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between heaven and earth? We are arrant knaves all. Believe none of us, and go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Well, then let him have the doors shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Now get thee to a nunnery. Go! I will no more on, for it has made me mad. I say there will be no more marriages. Of those who are already married, all but one shall live, and the rest shall keep as they are. Now go thy ways to a nunnery.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye-toned sword, the rose and expectancy of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mould of form, the observed of all observers, quite down, and I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that most noble and sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form of feature of blown youth blasted with ecstasy. And woe is me to have seen what I have seen, to see what I see.
My spirit soared upon the wind, just like a falcon sweeping so majestically, and that it faithfully returned to thee.
Above the strife and turmoil of the world. And though that afternoon was light, its wings did barely tremble on the air, demanding just the merest kiss of breath to keep it soaring and empyrean. So oft I wish I too could stride the skies, and strangely in my dreaming world I do, as if in some past life I was a bird.
So familiar is this urge in me, and when I first awake, 'twill be dark night before the veil of night is quite removed.
I sometimes do believe in fact that I can simply spread my wings, stretch out, and fly.
What childish, wretched thoughts to write to thee! I blame thy princely generosity encouraging such words to tumble free.
Ophelia.
P.S. You did not step beyond the bounds of modesty. Your candidness is flattering to me, although I must confess the crimson tide invaded these pale shores for quite some time.
be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? Oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and spurns the patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his coitus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, without the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. And thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action.
The one the river didn't keep. The woman dangling from the road. The woman with her arteries cut open. The woman with the overdose. Snow on her lips. The woman with her head in a gas stove. Yesterday I stopped killing myself. I am alone, my breasts, my thighs, my womb. I smashed the tools of my captivity. Chair, the table, the bed. I destroy the battlefield that was my home. I fling open the window so the wind gets in and the scream of the world. I smash the window. With my bleeding hands I tear the photos of the men I loved and who used me on the chair, the table, the bed, on the ground. Set fire to my prison. Throw my clothes into the fire. I wrench the clock that was my heart out of my breast. I walk into the street, clothed in my blood.
Our sometime sister, now our queen, we have taken on to wife. Oh, my offence is rank. It stinks to heaven. It hath the highest primal curse upon it, a brother's murder. Pray can I not? Though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man double business bound, I stand in pause. What if his cursed hand is thicker than itself in brother's blood? Is there not enough rain in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to offer visage of offence? Help, angels! Make us say, bow stubborn knees, hearts with strings of steel, be so
and thus conscience does make cowards of us all.
How now? What noise is that? Oh, heat, dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye. By heavens, thy madness shall be paid with weight, till our scale turn the beam. O Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. By heavens, is it possible that a young maid's wits were as mortal as an old man's life? Nature is fine in love, and where it is fine, it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves. Too much water hast thou poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. It is yet our trick. Nature her custom holds. Let shame say what it will. When these are done, the woman will be out. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns.
Glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come. Crowflowers, nettles, daisies and long purples that grosser shepherds give a better name. But our cold maids, do dead men's fingers call them? There on the pendant bough, coronet weeds clambering to hang, an envious silver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook. Like a creature native and endued to that element, long it could not be, till her garments heavy with their drink with the poor wretch from her melodious lay and too muddy death. Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Hamlet, thou hast my father much offended.
Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Hamlet, thou hast my father much offended.
Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Hamlet, thou hast my father much offended. This is a lecture speaking. In the heart of darkness, under the stun of torture, to the capitals of the world. In the name of the victims, I eject all the sperm I have received. I turn the milk of my breast into lethal poison. I take back the world I gave birth to. I choke between my thighs the world I gave birth to. I bury it in my womb. Down with the happiness of submission. Long live hate and contempt, rebellion and death. When she walks through your bedrooms carrying the butcher's knives, you'll know the truth. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, is a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come? The dread of something after death puzzles the will. It makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. As conscience does make cowards of us all.
Trust you now, the fair Ophelia, into thy orisons. Be all my sins remembered.